All right, let's get right into it. Alphabet, Google's parent company, just dropped a quarterly report that is frankly mind-blowing. But listen, this is way more than just a story about big numbers. We're talking about a massive fundamental shift happening inside one of the biggest companies on the planet. And the engine behind all of it? AI. So today we're going to tear this down and see exactly how they pulled it off.
So first things first, just look at this number. Let it sink in for a second. $102.3 billion in revenue in just one quarter. This is the first time they've ever crossed that $100 billion mark, and it is just an absolutely massive figure. But believe it or not, the number itself isn't even the most interesting part of the story.
Because what's really wild is when you add some context. Check this out. Just 5 years ago, back in 2020, their revenue for a quarter was about $50 billion. So they've literally doubled their revenue in 5 years. That's the same time frame that's seen us dive headfirst into what their own CEO, Sundar Pichai, is calling the generative AI era. So you have to ask, right? What in the world is the engine behind this kind of acceleration?
Well, the answer is something we're calling the AI flywheel. And look, I know flywheel can sound like a corporate buzzword, but this is the real deal. It's their core strategy, and it's designed to create this almost unstoppable momentum. Think of it like this. They pour a ton of money into AI, which makes their products better. Better products pull in more users and, crucially, more data. All that new data makes the AI even smarter, and a smarter AI makes more money, which they then pour right back into the start of the loop. It's a cycle that feeds itself, and for Alphabet, that wheel is just spinning faster and faster.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The CEO, Sundar Pichai, said it himself. This isn't some cool science project tucked away in a lab anymore. This isn't a bet on the future. AI is the thing delivering real, tangible, massive business results right now. And it's happening across pretty much every part of the company. So, okay, how does this flywheel actually, work? Well, Alphabet breaks it down into 3 main layers. It's what they call their full stack approach. At the very bottom, you've got the foundation. This is all the hardware, the custom chips, the powerful GPUs. Then, sitting on top of that, you have the brains. That's the Gemini family of AI models. And then at the very top layer, that's where you and I come in. That's the experience, the products we actually use, like Search, Cloud, and YouTube. So let's take a look at how this all comes together. Okay, let's start with the big one, right? The product that started it all for Google, Search. And we're not talking about small tweaks here. AI is completely reinventing search from the ground up.
Just think about how you use search today versus, say, 10 years ago. It used to be all about typing in the perfect keywords to get a list of those famous blue links, right? Now, it's much more like a conversation. You can ask it really complex stuff and get a straight answer, not just a link. It can even take action for you. And that's the key shift here. It's moving from a tool that just finds things to a tool that actually does things.
And get this, it's not just a cool new feature, it's actually working. Things like AI overviews and the new AI mode are getting people to search more often. The total number of queries is going up. And here's the kicker for them. That growth is happening fastest with younger people, which is exactly the audience they need to keep engaged for the future. All right, so that's what you and I see. Let's switch gears and look at the business side of things. Because right now, there is an absolute AI gold rush happening in the corporate world. Every company is scrambling to get in on it. And Google, well, they're selling the picks and shovels through their cloud division. And the demand is, well, it's just off the charts. This number, $155 billion, that's Google Cloud's contract backlog. Basically, it's the amount of money that businesses have already promised to spend with them down the road. It's a huge vote of confidence. But here's the stat that really made my jaw drop. That backlog, it's up 82% in just 1 year. So the demand for their AI tools and infrastructure isn't just big, it is accelerating like a rocket ship. And it's not just small companies dipping a toe in. This chart is what really tells the story. In just the first 9 months of this year, Google Cloud has signed more billion-dollar-plus deals than they did in the last 2 years combined. Let that sink in. The biggest companies in the world, the major enterprises, are going all in, betting their futures on Google's AI. They're locking themselves into this ecosystem for the long haul. So we've got search, we've got cloud, but the AI flywheel doesn't stop there. It's also completely changing the game for YouTube and fueling some of Alphabet's biggest bets on what's next. If you're a creator on YouTube, AI is quickly becoming your new best friend.
I mean, it can help you come up with ideas, it can speed up your editing, it gives you deep insights into how your videos are doing, it can even spot products in your video and automatically make them shoppable. It's creating new ways to make money, almost out of thin air. We're talking about a total transformation of the creator workflow.
And then if we look even further down the road, you've got Alphabet's famous other bets. Take Waymo, their self-driving car company. It's really starting to hit its stride, you know? It's moving beyond just a few test cities and going global, with plans for places like London and Tokyo, on top of launching in more big US cities like Dallas, Denver, and Seattle.
So, okay, the picture is pretty clear, right? The AI flywheel is spinning like crazy, the growth is undeniable. But, and this is a big but, keeping this engine humming and building out this AI future, it doesn't come cheap. In fact, the cost is just as mind-boggling as the revenue.
So let me just ask you to take a guess. What do you think it costs a company like this to stay on top and build all the infrastructure needed for this AI revolution?
The answer? About $92 billion. That is their projected spending on what's called capital expenditures. We're talking physical hardware, data centers, all that stuff, for 2025 alone. Think about that. That's almost the entire record-breaking quarterly revenue we just talked about being plowed right back into the machine.
And this shows you exactly where all that cash is going. It's not fuzzy, it's very specific. The huge majority of it is being spent on the core of that AI flywheel. 60% of it is going to servers. That's the raw computing power, the custom chips that actually run the AI models. The other 40%? That's for the buildings, the giant data centers, and the networking to connect it all together.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, from search to cloud to YouTube, what you're really seeing is a company rebuilding its entire identity around one single technology. This AI flywheel isn't just a business strategy to make more money. It's actively changing how we find information, how companies run, and even how we create art and content. And that leaves us with one last big question. As this one single company goes all in on AI, what kind of future is it building for all of us?